What happens when you die? A question that humans have pondered upon since the beginning of time, since we looked up at the stars and wondered, is there something bigger than us out there? Is there something after this life? Death is the universal equalizer. It is something that all humans will face. Since the moment you were born, a constant battle, a clock running out, a timer, that every day you are closer to death than you've ever been. On July 12th, 2022, my life was changed forever. An invaluable lesson was learned, an experience of life and death. This is my story of the day that I almost died. Alright, we're going to just keep this video raw and try and do it in one take. So, hello, my name is Michael. First and foremost, before we get into this, I'd like to say there is going to be a viewer discretion advised. If you're squeamish or don't like gory images, trauma, blood, etc., please go ahead and click off the video now. Thank you. As I said, my name is Michael. I am 25 years old. I'm a veteran, I'm a student, and I'm a leader. And most of all, I'm a survivor. I'd like to start off by saying a massive thank you to all of the EMS, trauma, ICU, doctors, nurses that were there on July 12th and July 13th, saving my life. John, I'd like to say a big thank you to you. I wouldn't be here today if it was not for the fact that you were able to get a tourniquet on my arm using your own shirt that I bled all over to save my life. Thank you for that. Your experience as a Marine, and not only that, but as a law enforcement official, proved that not only do you have a servant soul, but you were also knowledged and skilled in saving people's lives. So thank you. That is a miracle and is one of the main reasons I'm here today. To understand a little bit about this experience, I'd like to first start off by explaining a little bit about me. As I said, I'm a veteran, I'm a student, I'm a leader, and most of all, I'm a survivor. When I graduated high school, I went on to serve in the United States Air Force, where I was later honorably discharged and was fortunate enough to be able to use my GI Bill to go to college, obtaining a degree in interdisciplinary studies with a minor in criminal justice. I later went on to work as a marketing director for a skydiving company, where the past year I've spent jumping out of planes, jumping out of 400 plus planes, obtaining a C license. This injury that I sustained to my radial artery was not due to skydiving. It was actually due to something as mundane as jumping over a fence. To understand this story, we must first go back to the night of July 12th. I was hanging out at the pool at the apartment complex that I live, and pretty much to understand how this pool works, you have to have a gate code scanner to enter and exit from the pool. On this night, we were out there pretty much up to the closing point, which the pool closes at 10. But unbeknownst to me, the gate code scanners did not stay operating past about 9. On this night, I had left a important piece of something very mundane, but it was very important to me, to put it at the least. It was a bottle opener. This bottle opener, while it's just a bottle opener and you can easily go buy another one, this bottle opener was given to me after a 100-mile trail race that I had went and done with my dad. There are crazy people in this world, far crazier than me, to go out and run these ultra marathons, usually in about a day's time, and they do 100 miles. This bottle opener was given to me, obviously, by him, and it's a memory that is extremely important to me and was something I did not want to lose. When we were locked out of the pool, I decided that I would just hop over the fence. Me being a larger-than-life person, for those who know me, adventurous spirit, I thought, this is just a fence. I've hopped over many fences before. Hop over it real quickly, grab it, and leave. Not knowing that this would be the day that I almost died. when I hopped over the fence, which I'm going to play a video now that will show, I was being very timid. I was being very careful. Obviously knew that this fence had these large Spartan spear type spikes on it. Something I was trying to look out for. As I crossed the threshold of the fence and was on the other side, I somehow just managed to rake my arm right over one of the spears and impelled the radial artery right at this point of my arm, which I will now provide images of and show you. It's pretty much right between the breaker on the radial artery, but it was the radial artery that I hit. When this happened, I immediately knew that it was an arterial bleed. It started squirting blood, very bright blood. Because in the military, I knew that, we had to get a tourniquet on it. John, who was the other person out there in the pool, I immediately ran over to him, told him, hey, man, I'm about to bleed out. We got to get a tourniquet on this. And he was able to wrap his shirt around my arm, got a stick, which if you do not know anything about, first aid response, if you don't have a tourniquet, the best thing you can do is get some piece of clothing, something like that, put a stick through it and tighten it down and add as much pressure to cut off circulation to the upper part of that area or wherever the bleed is at. Obviously, I'm not a certified EMS personnel, so don't take that as fact. Go out and learn that. It's a skill that every person should know. 911 was able to be notified right away. I knew that it was an arterial bleed. I told the person who had called to notify them and let them know right away that, hey, you got to get here quick. I was blessed in the fact that the ambulance team and the EMS staff was there within 4 minutes. Christian, thank you for your driving. As they say in Ricky Bobby, if you're not first, you're last, and he was definitely first that night. So EMS was able to get there, put a tourniquet on, and get me to the hospital, where I was obviously in excruciating pain and fighting for my life for well over 6 hours. Due to the fact that they did not know at first that it was an arterial bleed, the staff there sewed me up and was going to send me home, where I was given 17 sutures into my arm that later then exploded again and sent me back into arterial bleeding. What people may or may not know is a lot of times with arterial bleeding, what will happen is the artery will actually go back up into the muscle or the area, depending on where it's at, and cause it to sometimes look like a vernacular bleed, which in this case, it was an arterial bleed. A little bit more fact about arterial bleeds. There's about a 33% chance of surviving from something. It only takes about 4 minutes to bleed out from an arterial bleed. You pretty much just need to fill up a tall pint glass of beer, and you're dead. It is a true miracle that I'm here today to make this video. And what I want to share from this experience, while the scars will heal, they do say that I'll have full use of my arm again. The learning lessons that have been learned from this experience are invaluable. And I want to make this video to share that with people. In 2021 into 2022, I jumped out of 400 planes. I did that with no injuries to my body. Skydiving is a very safe sport if you understand your equipment, understand your emergency procedures, and is actually has a higher survivability rate tandem skydiving wise. More people die annually by vending machines falling on them than they do tandem skydiving incidents. I've always been an adventurous spirit. Growing up, I was the middle child who gave my mother all of her gray hair. I've always been someone who is not afraid to die. But what this experience has taught me is that death can come and be on the doorsteps of your life in a moment that you would never think that it's possible. Life can end so quickly. And the past 3 years for many Americans and people all across the world has been crazy. A global pandemic changed all of our lives forever. Society has a tendency to put comfort and safety as a priority in life, but that is not where the beauty in life lies. Will Smith has a great quote that life is, the best when you're the most afraid. The greatest things in life live on the other side of fear. And this experience solidified a feeling in me of knowing that life is about living. Life is about experiences where you are the most afraid, where you're the most alive. And the greatest things in life live on the other side of fear. But that also comes with the caveat of understanding that life can end in a moment's notice. From something as mundane as jumping over a fence, my life was forever changed. It is a miracle that I sit here today to make this video. The odds were very much against me. And if it was not for people like John, like the EMS staff, like the ICU nurses, the doctors who were there to save my life, I would not be here today. I make this video to say to you and those watching, don't live your life in fear. Live your life in victory. Because all of this can be over very, very quickly. And you never know when your moment's going to come. You never know when the Reaper is going to be on your doorstep. Don't take family for granted. Don't take the gift of waking up every day for granted, because it can all come to an end very quickly. In the back of that ambulance, I was on the verge of life and death. And it's a miracle from God that I'm here today. And most of all, what this experience has taught me is to be thankful for every day I wake up. Realize that every day that you have here on this earth is a chance to go and do whatever you want. Yes, there are the restraints of money. Yes, there are the restraints of your job. But let those things be a tool that can help open up doorways to go and do what you want. There are so many people that I meet that say, oh, well, I couldn't do this or I couldn't do that. But you were capable and you were able to do so. Don't let fear be the prison that you restrain yourself from truly living. I hope that people can understand from this experience and from these videos and these images is that you never know when your moment's going to be. I never would have thought in a million years that a fence would be what almost takes me out. A good friend of mine made the comment of saying that, well, you can jump out of 400 planes. There's a bit humor in the fact that a fence is what almost takes you out. And that is the truth. This experience is something that it's important to find humor from. It's important to understand that this just goes to show you never really know what will be the thing that takes you out. I want to again just say thank you to everybody that was praying for me, all the friends and family who sent, thoughts and just were there for me throughout this process. This process has been a massive learning lesson and an experience that I will never forget. I hope that this video answered some questions for people who are wondering about the incident, wondering what happened. How did you sustain this injury? How did you almost die? And the short and sweet answer is a fence. A fence was what almost took me out. So I hope that people can learn from my experience. One, don't jump over fences. But most of all, don't be afraid to live, because you never know when your moment's going to be. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. It's been an honor. I'm thankful I'm still here. If anybody has any questions or wants to know more about the injury, please feel free to comment down below. But other than that, I'll leave you with, don't be afraid to live. And just remember that the greatest things in this life live on the other side of fear. And know that any day can be your last. So hold your loved ones close. Be thankful for what you have. And be thankful for the chance to wake up every day. Your health is an important thing. And I think it's a thing that many of us take for granted. I know that there were many times that I took it for granted. Learning to live life only having use of one hand and one arm, it's been a huge changing factor. But as they say, necessity is the reason for all great innovation. and learning to use one arm has been challenging, but it's also taught me a lot. I am expected to make a full recovery and get use out of my hand again. This process will take a long time, but it is something that I'm motivated and ready for. So again, thank you for watching. I'm very grateful for it. Hopefully this has not been too awkward. I'm going to try and keep this video raw and to the point. So thank you. Have a blessed day.